Do you ever wonder if your friends know you, like understand you, get you, see you? It's one of our greatest hungers as humans. We want to be known and understood and accepted. And yet because of that accepted piece, it's often one of our scariest elements is actually letting ourselves be seen and be known. And so we often, perfect an image or kind of get used to a certain role that we play in life. I remember my mom telling a story of when I was younger in high school, I think, or junior high. And I was told her I couldn't go to school one morning because I was sad, and she didn't understand the correlation, and she was like, you still have to go to school. And she told me the story about how I felt like I couldn't go to school because my friends expected me to cheer them up and be the positive one, and I was too sad to do that today. Kind of crazy, isn't it? Like that had been a role that I played, and it's how I felt like my friends liked me, I guess, or what I thought I needed to be in order to gain their approval or their acceptance. And it's so subtle. Most of us aren't like that junior high version of me anymore. And yet we all know what it's like to show up networking and have the elevator pitch that sounds so good, or to Facebook or social media and Instagram and all of these where we have a reputation, an image, a personality, a brand. And, we know how to go through life and play certain roles. Many of us we like being the strong woman. We identify with being the busy one. We enjoy people thinking of as a successful. We've gotten a lot of accolades for being the pretty one. We all have kind of things that have given us applause, positive reinforcement. And those are the kind of things that we tend to want to lead with. Understandably, because we've gotten reinforcement for those, and so they feel safer to us. That makes sense, right? And so we come forward, and there's a lot of angst on social media that we're all being fake or phony, and I don't think it's that as much as it's like we want to be safe, because at the end of the day, we want to be accepted. And our odds go up in our brains of being accepted if we think, what have I been accepted for before? That makes sense, right? It's not hard for me to understand why we show up and want to be these personas, these people. And yet at the end of the day, we all know that we're so much more complicated and nuanced than that. And we have so many different sides of us and so many different versions and personalities and moods. And it's all us, and it's all okay. And so at the end of the day, when we define a healthy relationship, what we want is any relationship. Remember, the definition of Frientimacy is any relationship where two people both feel seen in a safe and satisfying way. I've done a bunch of earlier videos in this series. This is the fourth and final video of the series of the 3 requirements of all healthy relationships. And this is the one where we talk about what it means to be seen. Because we want to be loved and accepted. And in order to be loved and accepted, we have to be seen. Otherwise, we'll go, yeah, they love me, but if they knew, right? Or we go, yeah, but they love my Instagram, but if they really saw all the other stuff, then... So we have this nagging doubt that if all of us isn't seen, then we might feel popular, we might feel appreciated, we might feel adored, but we want to feel loved. And that means that we need to feel seen in order to believe that they actually love us for who we are. And so if we want to feel loved, we have to feel seen. And in order to be seen, we have to reveal. And that leads us to our third requirement, which is vulnerability. Vulnerability is our willingness to share, to open up, to reveal a little bits of pieces of ourselves in different ways with different people. And this is a hard one because by the time we're 5, we already have stories of feeling rejected, of not feeling accepted, of feeling like betrayed even, or just so we've been hurt. There's so many stories of women writing me expressing their disappointment and hurt. And so we get worried, we kind of cover up, we kind of put on a facade, we kind of protect ourselves. But if we don't have this one, if we just have the consistency and the positivity of the Frientimacy triangle, if we only have those 2, then we have a whole bunch of people that we might see regularly, and it might feel fun and feel good and feel rewarding. But without vulnerability as the third piece of the triangle, it's just a social group. It's people we have fun with. It's people we enjoy doing stuff with. And that's fabulous. except that for us to reach the top of the triangle, for us to reach frientimacy, for us to feel loved, for us to be in safe, meaningful, fulfilling relationships, we need to be seen. So we don't want the relationship just to be something where we're doing things together, spending time together, and having a good time. At the end of the day, we want some of those relationships to be getting to know us better for that time that we spend together. And so I want to talk a little bit, real briefly, in a short video. I go into depth in both of my books on vulnerability and a whole bunch of different practical examples of what this looks like. But let me just kind of go through a couple tips, because this is a really, really important one. We tend to make the mistake of having an imbalance where we either press vulnerability too quickly or hide ourselves and let our friends be vulnerable, and we kind of stay in the shadow. And this happens to a lot of us who are we like to think of ourselves as healthy and outgoing and mature, but we might play the role of the good listener or the therapist or people who are used to being the one who everyone pours onto, but we don't necessarily reciprocate and share. And so if you're watching this video, chances are high that some of us need to practice sharing more, and some of us need to be more mindful about whether we're sharing too much or inappropriately. And so really quick, we can use the triangle as a rule of thumb for how to share and when to share. And that is just really quickly that every relationship starts at the bottom of the triangle, and our vulnerability should only increase as our consistency increases. So we have two arms of the triangle, and they should incrementally grow and develop in balance as much as possible. So we don't want this wobbly vulnerability to go way high and our consistency, meaning we haven't seen them that much, we don't have that much of a commitment, that much history yet, or vice versa, where we might have a ton of history with them and really have built a strong relationship, but we're still not showing up and sharing ourselves. And our goal is to do those two things in tandem as much as possible. So obviously there's some nuance here, but be mindful that you can't just vomit your life story and think that if you just do, a lot of people will be like, well, I'm an open book, and they just need to take me as I am. And that's fabulous to some degree, but if we're just meeting you, we don't need to read the whole book. And so we all need to be mindful of sharing in incremental ways. Our job isn't just to show up and throw our entire selves and our whole story and our background and our context and be like, well, they just need to know everything about me. And that's not a healthy relationship. That's more vulnerability, more sharing than the structure of the friendship has thus developed. And so we want to just be mindful of those two imbalances. So for some of us, it's learning how to, it's not being inauthentic. Well, we still want you to be authentic. So for some of you, if you need to kind of pull down, your two areas of growth would be to ask more questions of the other people, to realize that you might share a whole lot and you might feel closer to somebody because you shared everything and they know everything, but they will not feel closer to you if they have not shared with you and feel seen by you. So one of the most important things we can do is, if we're comfortable with vulnerability and with sharing, let's ask more questions of the people we're with. Turn into somebody who's curious. Turn into somebody who's interested in the other. Focus on using a little bit of your sharing to create a safe place and model that sharing and say, it's safe to share with me. And then make sure you ask questions and open up the space for somebody else to share. And the other thing on that is we want to ask more questions. And we also want to be mindful of the difference between updating and processing our life with. So it's okay to meet somebody and to have a newish friend and to say, I'm going through a divorce, or I'm being screened for cancer, or my teenager's oh my goodness. Yes, it's okay to be vulnerable with people. We're not asking you to be Pollyanna. There's nothing here saying to put on a fake facade. What we're saying is there's a difference between telling somebody something, updating them, sharing a little bit of yourself, versus kind of going into a therapy session with them, or processing, or expecting them to hold this space on something really heavy and big that's bigger than the relationship has yet practiced. And so being mindful, practicing, how do I share this so it feels authentic, that I'm not hiding, and yet in such a way that I show respect for the level of relationship that we've established thus far. So that's a really important thing for those of us who might be kind of recognize ourselves as oversharers. And recognize the triangle. Every relationship starts at the top and goes up. And so it takes a lot of time and consistency and positivity and vulnerability to build some relationships up to the top. And if some of us are lonely, we might be at risk of expecting people who are halfway up the triangle to be our best friends and our confidants, because we look around and say, well, they're the people I'm closest to. But we need to be mindful that if your top of the triangle is somewhat empty, it's not the job of the people halfway up the triangle to pretend to be people at the top of the triangle. Does that make sense? So your job is to be mindful and ask myself, how much history do I have with this person? How often do I see them? How much safety has been built? How much consistency? How high are we on the consistency? And what can I do to make sure my vulnerability is appropriately matched to that? Let me just jump to the other side for those of us who have a hard time sharing ourselves. A couple of words of wisdom. Number one, we need to get better at practicing sharing ourselves without having to be asked. It's not okay for us to walk away from event after event and phone call after phone call and say they just never asked. We sometimes don't ask them and they share with us. The goal here is to be seen. We have to practice taking up some space. So we might need to say, hey, before we get off the phone today, I just want to make sure I had a chance to tell you about some things happening in my life. Or we might need to say to a good friend, in the past, I've always admired how well you share your life, and I realize I don't share mine very much, and so I'm going to start trying to do that more. And I would love if you'd be willing to help ask me questions or help catch me. If you see me not sharing, call me out on it. And so invite our friends to see that this is an area we want to share in. So we need to kind of own it, and it's our job to show up and to share. And when we think about sharing, the job isn't to pull out the hardest thing to share. Nobody's talking about just pulling out shame and skeletons out of the closet. We're talking about letting more of us be seen. So that means different topics. That means if we're only bonding to somebody in this way, vulnerability means broaching other subjects. It might mean going deeper on one subject. It might mean not skirting around different things. So asking kind of questions about their past and their history and where did you grow up and what was your childhood like? Or questions about the future. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? And are you happy in this area? Do you see yourself moving? What would you move for? What would be the things? Just asking questions that help us get to know people. What would be one thing if you could change anything about your life that you would change? What's something you're really, really appreciating about life these days? What do you do during the week? Tell me what a day in your life looks like. So these are ways where we're just being able to kind of, I just call it kind of getting off the freeway, getting off the freeway of what everybody else talks about and what we already know about each other, and take an exit and visit a little town of this person. Come visit this little town of Shasta, Shasta on this subject and Shasta on that subject, and you and your friends. And also, we want to be broader and deeper, and we also want to make sure we're covering the highs and the lows. This is one of my favorite. If you follow me, I'm always highlight, low light, because it's really important in our friendships that we get practiced at sharing what's stressing us out. For some of us, that's really hard to share because we want everyone to think we're doing so well all the time, and we're the positive one. So we need to get better at sharing where some angst is, where some stress is, where we're feeling the unhappiness these days, and our disappointment, and the tough conversation we had last week, and the decision that was hard. So we need to share those things. For some of us, we are really good at sharing what's not working, and we want to be more mindful about practicing sharing what is working. The highlights, that's vulnerable too. It's just as vulnerable, maybe even more so, to share what's successful, what's exciting, what we're proud of, where we're achieving. And so for us to be able to share with each other, this is where my life is going well, this is what I'm excited, this is what I'm celebrating, this is what I'm stressing out about. It gives us the reminder that everybody's life has the highlights and the lowlights, that we're all more than just what the freeway, the big that everyone else sees on social media, that we have all these other elements in towns and cities and off-roads and dirt roads and ghost towns. So, the more safe, the more consistency we've built up with somebody, the more we let them travel, the more we want to travel their map, the more we want to get to know each other. At the end of the day, we want to feel seen. It's scary, yes. And some of us have been hurt, yes. But think of it like exercise. You've been injured before, but that's not an excuse to just say, see, I was injured once, so I should never exercise again. I should just never walk ever again because I tripped once and fell. And so we wouldn't do that for our physical health. And neither do we want to do that for our emotional health. Yes, we've been hurt. Yes, let's learn from it. Did we do it inappropriately? Can we learn better technique? Can we practice and build up stronger muscles? Can we learn how to do this in an appropriate way so we decrease the chances of injury? And can we heal and trust that our bodies can heal, and then we get back into the game? And yes, we might get hurt, and that's kind of part of the game. We are physical and emotional and spiritual beings, and sometimes we get hurt. And the best thing we can do is practice forgiving ourselves, forgiving others, and learning how to keep building trust with people. Because it's not okay to just say, I'm just going to go through life not being seen. We want to see you. I want your friends to see you, because I want them to know you, and I want them to love you, and I want them to make you feel accepted, and I want you to give the same gift to them. We are living in a world where people are not very practiced at this. They're not doing it consciously or thoughtfully. Most of us are just going around, just talking and just hoping that people care. But you can do it differently. You can do it with thoughtfulness and intention and kindness and a willingness to be brave and a willingness to ask and to be curious. I want for you a relationship where you feel seen in a safe and satisfying way. Blessings. My name is Shasta. I hope to work with you, hope to see you, hope to have you watch some other videos, and most of all, I hope that you have amazing friendships.